guys, my name is Paul and this is my hockey channel. And guys, today we will be talking about Calder Trophy and the three of the best rookies, or the three rookies that have the highest chances of winning Calder Trophy this season, so 2020-2021. So guys, basically this was kind of tough. If you are new to this channel, please guys consider to subscribe, and if you are already subscribed, probably you know that I have already done videos on my top 3 favorites to win the Hart Trophy, to win the Norris Trophy, and to win the Vezina Trophy. So I have already done the 3 of the biggest trophies, individual trophies of course, that you can win in the NHL, and this is the 4th one and the last one. But to be quite honest, this was probably the hardest one to find the top 3 favorites. It really was, guys. It was very tough. Number 1 guy, that was clear. We all know that number 1, KAPRIZOV, that was just clear. He is the clear favorite to win the Calder Trophy this season, and it's not even close. However, number 2 and number 3 spots, this was very difficult, guys, and I can totally understand that all of you can have different names up there, right? I decided to go with Kevin LANKINEN, with a very talented Finnish young goaltender, and of course Tim Stutzler, the very young player from Germany, left wing, very good player for the Ottawa Senators. However, guys, I would say I would name notable mentions that just didn't make it to my list, but they are really playing very well. Number 1, Vitek Vanecek from Czech Republic, the goaltender for the Washington Capitals. He's playing very well. Not very well, he's playing amazing this season so far. So he was, I was wondering, should I put Lankinen there or Vitek Vanecek? It is very close, guys. I decided to go with Lankinen, but I can totally understand if you go with Vitek Vanecek. And other players, guys. Also, Jason Robertson. Jason Robertson, very decent young player for the Dallas Stars. He has currently 4 more points than Tim Stutzle. He has 24 points already this season in just 31 games, I do believe. So he's playing very well. Jason Robertson. I was wondering, should I put Jason Robertson over Tim Stutzle? I don't know. I decided to go with the German, but you could definitely make an argument for Jason Robertson as well. Then you have Jeli Tolvanen, a very great player, young player for Nashville Predators. So guys, I just decided to go with top 3 guys for me personally. But I think number 1 guy, that's just said, you have to go as the biggest favorite right now to be KAPRIZOV. But the other players, it's as I have said, you could put Vitek Vanecek, Kevin LANKINEN, there is even Kaapo Kähkönen, another very decent young goaltender. You have Tim Stutzle, Jason Robertson, Jeli Tolvanen, Josh Norris. You have a lot of really good young guys right now in the NHL. So this is just my personal list, guys, and please, if you are fans of the other teams that I didn't put the youngsters from your team on the board, please don't be angry on me. Just please, guys, leave a comment down below and tell me who your top 3 favorites are. And right now, finally, let's start with number 1 guy, and that's KAPRIZOV from my favorite team, from the team that I'm cheering for, and that's Minnesota. So, of course, he's a Russian. He is already 23 years of age, so he's a little bit older. He spent, I think, 6 seasons playing in the KHL, so it took a little bit while. It took a while since he came to the NHL, but finally he's here, and I would say that he's even better than was expected from him. He is really playing very well indeed. He is 5'9", so pretty solid height, and he's 201 pounds, so he's also a very strong player. He has a lot of muscles, and yeah, he definitely, this is the difference, for example, between Tim Stutzle and KAPRIZOV, or generally between the very young players and a little bit older ones that come to the NHL only when they are like 23 years old, such as, for example, KAPRIZOV. You see, he's 5'9", Tim Stutzle is 6'1", so he is taller than KAPRIZOV, but he's 187 pounds. Kirill is already 201 pounds. So this is just, the age difference. This is just, Kirill had 6 seasons or 5 seasons at least playing in the KHL in the second best men's hockey league in the world. He finished with 62 points for CSKA Moscow last season. So then I do believe he was like third best point getter in the KHL. He was the third best overall player, or in the top 5 definitely. So he came to the NHL as a ready player, as a final product, I want to say. So he has definitely a great advantage compared, for example, to Tim Stutzler. This was expected that Kirill Kaprizov, he will have probably better first season, but in the long run, it is expected that Tim Stutzler probably will be the better player, but still, that's just probably, and we should see. So Kirill Kaprizov was 135th pick overall for Minnesota Wild in the draft 2015. So as you can see here, Kirill Kaprizov was picked 5 years earlier than Tim Stutzler. When Kirill Kaprizov was actually picked, Tim Stutzler was only 14 years of age, so even here you can see the age difference that really matters, even at or especially at this age. So yeah, he was very late pick. I do believe this is a 5th rounder. So we can once again have that debate why he was picked at such a late time. Well, number one probably was the argument that he will stay in the KHL for a couple of the next seasons. So this, of course, definitely disappointed other general managers. When you are picking a guy, you expect him to come to your team the next season right after, or 2 seasons later. But Kirill Kaprizov, he spent in the KHL 5 years. Since he was picked, right? Only after 5 years he came to the NHL. So this definitely played a big role, or also that was probably the case while in the latest draft, Vasily Podkolzin wasn't picked that high. So yeah, and also maybe, I don't know, but definitely he was a late pick. And right now he seems like one of the best player out of this 2015 draft. And this was, of course, the draft of Connor McDavid, right? So, yeah. Minnesota. For Minnesota must be absolutely happy that Kirill Kaprizov is finally in the town. 36 games played for Minnesota this season. Kirill Kaprizov scored 14 goals, added 17 assists. That's a grand total of 31 points, averaging almost, we can say almost point per game. It's not exactly point per game player, but he's just very good. Even in those last 2 games against Vegas, as I'm recording this, he was the key player for Minnesota. And yeah, he's plus 10. He had 12 penalty minutes so far, so that's not that much. He's just a beast. He's just a beast. The best player of Minnesota Wild currently for sure. So he's clear favorite to win a Calder right now. Unless he gets injured, he will win the Calder. I think that's just it. So, as I have said earlier, last season he played in Russia, in the KHL for CSKA Moscow. He played in 57 games. He had a very solid numbers, 33 goals scored, 29 assists, 62 points, averaging over point per game, plus 32, even this shows you how good of a player he was, and only 10 penalty minutes in 57 games. So again, very solid season in CSKA Moscow last year, and even this year. It has been a great season overall for the whole of club of Minnesota, but also for Kirill Kaprizov. Kevin LANKINEN, number 2, my top 2 favorite, my second biggest favorite to win Calder Trophy this season, the Finnish goaltender, 25 years old, so he's actually at the oldest age he possibly can be in order to be a candidate for the Calder Trophy. As you probably know, in order to be qualified for the Calder Trophy or to win Calder Trophy, you have to be 25 years of age or younger. So he's right at that cap. And he's 6'2", so pretty tall goaltender, 185 pounds, and he was not even drafted. I do believe that in 2018 Chicago Blackhawks signed with Kevin LANKINEN entry-level contract, or they signed him basically as a free agent, I guess. That's how you call it. So he was even not drafted. But once again, when we are talking about goaltenders, it's very, very tough to pick a goaltender during the draft. It's just, I would say it's a lot harder to pick a good goaltender out of the draft than it is to pick a good defenseman or forward. So yeah, I think it's not a surprise. A lot of good goaltenders were not drafted, but this is a very interesting fact about Kevin Lankinen. He wasn't even drafted. So this season for Chicago Blackhawks, he's playing very well. 27 games played. He's the #1 goaltender for Chicago right now, obviously with that amount of games played. 30 wins, 10 losses for overtime losses. So he's over 500. And he has a save percentage of 91.8, which is pretty darn solid, and 2.72 goals against average. And last season he was not actually playing in Europe. I thought he was, but he actually wasn't. He was playing for the Rockford IceHawks, the AHL team of the Chicago Blackhawks, and he had pretty solid numbers there, just below 91% save percentage and just over 3 goals against average. So again, Kevin Lankinen, very talented young Finnish goaltender, and he has been very good for the Chicago Blackhawks. It seems like he will be a very good goaltender for the Chicago Blackhawks in years to come. We know that Corey Crawford is out of the town. He just retired from his hockey career this season, and you have their other goaltenders, but Robin Lehner left Chicago, right? So it's very important that Kevin Lankinen emerges to be that #1 guy for the Blackhawks. And Tim Stutzler, the very talented guy from Germany, right down here, my third biggest favorite to win Calder Trophy this season. He's only 19 years of age, so he is really at the very start of his NHL career. He was 3rd pick overall this last draft, so draft 2020, which was of course online draft, the first online draft in history because of the COVID situation and everything connected to that. He's 6'1" and he's 187 pounds. So Tim Stutzle, this season so far for Ottawa Senators, he has been very good. 35 games played, 6 goals, 14 assists, that's 20 points overall. He has been -14, but again, he is playing for the Ottawa Senators, so you expect that he would be a minus guy, right? Almost everybody on the Ottawa roster is a minus guy because Ottawa gets outshotted or outscored quite heavily sometimes, and he has so far only 10 penalty minutes, so he's not spending that high amount of time in the penalty box, which is again very positive news for the Senators organization. Last year he played for Adler Mannheim in the DEL, so Deutsche Eishockey League, and he played in 41 games, scored 7 goals, added 27 assists. He had a grand total of 34 points. He was a +4 guy. He had 12 penalty minutes. Yeah, very solid season between the men for him at the DEL, which is one of the best Europe hockey leagues. And yeah, even when you compare the last season of Tim Stutzle to the last season of Kirill Kaprizov, you can quite clearly see who is the favorite to win Calder Trophy this season. It is, you just have to count with it that Kirill Kaprizov is almost 5 years older than Tim Stutzle, and this plays a huge role at this early stage of career. So again, guys, you have to take into consideration also the age difference between Kirill Kaprizov and Tim Stutzle, or Alexis Lafreniere. Again, Stutzle, Lafreniere, Zegras, these are very young guys that were picked only this last draft. Kirill Kaprizov picked in 2015. So Kirill Kaprizov with a great advantage. Again, he was averaging over a point per game in the 2nd best hockey league in the world before he came to the NHL. Tim Stutzle, on the other hand, averaging below point per game in DEL, Deutsche Eishockey League. So of course, you can't compare Deutsche Eishockey League with KHL, but yeah, these are my top 3 favorites, guys, to win Calder Trophy this season. But as I have said at the beginning of this video, you have to take into consideration also Jason Robertson, Vitek Vanecek, Josh Norris, and others. But guys, I think the clear favorite, Kirill Kaprizov, Kirill the Thrill, as you can also call him, unless he gets injured, I would say it's straightforward. He wins the Calder this season. So yeah, guys, this is it for today's video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please, guys, leave a like down below and also subscribe if you have not already. If you are just, you just find out my channel, please subscribe, guys. It would really help the channel grow as I'm trying to reach that 100 subscribers goal. It would be really nice, guys. And yeah, stay safe wherever you are, and I will be talking to you again probably tomorrow, guys. Very probably. So stay safe and bye, guys. Bye.